The silence of deep space is absolute, an expanse so vast that even the faint hum of the Odyssey's engines seemed intrusive. Captain Amina Reyes stood on the bridge, silhouetted by the holo display of distant galaxies. Her dark eyes reflected the soft glow of starfields as she studied the map of unexplored systems. It was her third year in command of Earth's flagship exploratory vessel, and each mission deeper into the unknown had only heightened her resolve. Humanity was destined to carve its place among the stars. "Lieutenant Chen," she said, her voice calm but infused with anticipation. "Status report on the X-42 sector." First Officer Lyle Chen tapped at his console. The soft clicks and bleeps of the interface punctuated the hush. "Sector X-42 shows no significant radiation anomalies. Captain, stellar density is low, wormhole probability negligible, but anomalous energy spike detected on long-range sensors, bearing 037 by 284. A flicker of excitement passed through the bridge crew. Unexplained energy spikes so far from known civilization meant perhaps something extraordinary. "Plot an intercept course," Reyes ordered. "Slow approach. Open all channels for non-hostile hails." As the Odyssey altered its trajectory, the crew braced. Xenolinguistic expert Dr. Lena Ortiz hovered by communications, adjusting the polyglot. Translation matrix. Tactical Officer Soren Blake monitored shields and weapons only as a precaution. 2 hours later, a shape emerged from the inky black, an angular vessel of impossible geometry. Its hull rippling with pulsing bioluminescent patterns, it drifted, seemingly inert, until the Odyssey settled into formation 10 kilometers away. "External sensors detect no weapons signatures," reported Tactical. "Hull composition and known alloy with adaptive refractive properties. It phases between visible and near-infrared." Captain Reyes activated the comlink. "This is Captain Amina Reyes of the Earth Union vessel Odyssey. We come in peace. Please identify yourselves." The bridge fell silent. Moments stretched like hours until, at last, the alien voice filtered through, melodic, layered in harmonics, yet clear. "People of Terra." It intoned, "We are the Urval Collective. We welcome dialogue, a collective intake of breath." Humanity's first confirmed contact with an alien intelligence. Reyes allowed herself a small, triumphant smile. "Urval Collective, you are welcome aboard. We await your instructions for safe docking." As the message repeated in the universal tonal code, a shimmering gateway opened in the Urval vessel's hull, aligning with the Odyssey's airlock. Security teams readied themselves. Medical staff prepared quarantine protocols. The first to step through was Ambassador Keleth, draped in a flowing robe of living fiber that shifted color with each movement. His skin was pale emerald, eyes glowing softly like twin moons. Four other Urval delegates followed, each unique in height and patterning, but sharing the same graceful poise. "Captain Reyes," Ambassador Keleth said, bowing with practiced elegance, "your hospitality honors us. The Urval seek peaceful exchange." Dr. Ortiz advanced, offering a hand. "I am Dr. Lena Ortiz, xenopsychologist. Welcome to the Odyssey. We have much to learn about each other." Her tone balanced warmth and professionalism. She noted every subtle gesture, every micro-expression. The Urval delegates exchanged looks, curiosity, respect, and perhaps something akin to relief. Two crew medics in biohazard suits approached, performing swift, routine health scans. The aliens stood motionless, trusting the protocols. Once cleared, the delegation was escorted to the bridge. Reyes offered them the captain's chairs beside her own, a gesture of equality. "Please sit. We would be honored to hear your story." Keleth inclined his head. "Our journey began long ago, among the stars of the Zenith cluster. We have traversed countless light years, guided by the quest for knowledge and harmony." His bioluminescent markings shifted into soft blues and purples, an Urval signifier of contemplation. Chen brought up a holomap of known galactic territories. "The Urval Collective," he explained, "is renowned as peaceful scholars. You broker treaties. You share technologies. We have records of your assistance in the Zel-3 famine and the Triangulum peace." Accords, Keleth's shoulders straightened. "With pride. Yes, we believe in uplifting weaker civilizations to guide them towards stability." To prevent the chaos of unchecked expansion, his eyes drifted to the Earth projection. Your world shows signs of rapid development, vibrant culture, resilient people. We considered you worthy of mentorship. Reyes exchanged a sidelong glance with Ortiz. Mentorship, she echoed, curious. Tell us more about your philosophy. What we offer, Keleth replied, is stewardship advice on governance, interstellar navigation, and conflict resolution. For young worlds like Terra, these are invaluable. He paused as his bioluminescence subtly brightened. We expected gratitude and cooperation. A murmur rippled through the human crew. Gratitude, yes, but cooperation that didn't undercut humanity's hard-won autonomy. Ortiz leaned in. And what happens if we decline your mentorship? Keleth's expression softened, but carried a note of authority. Then we observe from afar. We do not impose, but be forewarned. Without guidance, young civilizations risk self-destruction, environmental collapse, internecine warfare, technological misuse. Reyes rose from her chair. The bridge lights dimmed, casting long shadows. We appreciate your concern, but Earth's history is defined by struggle through adversity. Our achievements, our unity in crisis are forged in the fires of challenge, not in the cradle of external guardianship. The Urval minister tilted his head as if weighing her words against an immeasurable scale. Your spirit is rare, yet we fear for you. A spark of defiance lit in Reyes' eyes. Humanity welcomes innovation and welcomes lessons from others, but we will chart our own destiny. Keleth inclined slowly. Very well, Captain. We shall watch and learn from each other. May our exchanges be fruitful. With that, the Urval delegation retreated to their vessel. As the gateway shimmered closed, Reyes exhaled, tension leaving her shoulders. The crew turned to her, questions on their faces. She met their gaze. Prepare detailed cultural briefings. Dr. Ortiz, I want a full vulnerability assessment. What do they know of us? What do we know of them, Malik? I want options for a demonstration non-lethal, but undeniable of our technological prowess. We're not here to threaten, but we are here to be respected. Lieutenant Chen nodded. Demonstration? You mean Aegis? At some point, Reyes said, out here in the void. Diplomacy is our first weapon, but let them understand that Earth will not be a passive ward. The bridge hummed back to life as orders crackled across the comms. Beyond the reinforced windows, the Urval ship drifted in silent vigil, its glowing hull a reminder that the galaxy's eyes were now upon humanity. As the stars wheeled overhead, Captain Reyes felt a surge of pride and determination. The journey toward true equality among the stars had just begun. The Urval delegation's arrival sparked a flurry of activity aboard the Odyssey. What had begun as a tentative greeting now blossomed into a full diplomatic mission, one that would test humanity's ability to navigate the intricate rituals of an interstellar alliance. Morning rituals at dawn equivalent ship time. Dr. Lena Ortiz was summoned to the Arboretum, a vast, dome-topped chamber where Earth's engineers had cultivated Terran and alien flora side by side. Bioluminescent vines curled overhead, and the air was fragrant with jasmine and alien blossoms whose petals shimmered like opals. There, Ambassador Keleth awaited beside a reflecting pool. His emerald skin was offset by the gentle blue glow of the biolights. He bowed once, a gesture of welcome. Ortiz returned the bow. Mindful of every nuance, the Urval held stillness in high esteem, interpreting fidgeting as disrespect. My esteemed guest, he intoned, voice rippling with hidden harmonics. The Urval custom is to greet the dawn with silence and offering of peace. Please join me. He led her to a luminous stone bench. Together, they watched as soft pink rays of simulated sunlight filtered through the dome, illuminating the Arboreal Council's sigils etched into the floor. Ortiz offered a gentle smile. Thank you, Ambassador. On Earth we greet dawn with song. May I share one with you? She listened for a heartbeat, then softly hummed the opening bars of a Terran folk melody. Keleth closed his eyes, his fiber-woven robe pulsing gently in appreciation. When she finished, he raised one hand, fingertips brushing a leaf. The vine above them unfurled in response, showering tiny luminescent spores like drifting fireflies. Your art moves the living world. he said. "We sense your passion in every note." "As you sense ours," Ortiz replied, her heart fluttering. This was diplomacy in its purest form, two civilizations exchanging beauty and respect, learning each other's heartbeat. Exchanges of knowledge be mid-morning. The bridge had been converted into a council chamber. A long, oval table of polished obsidian had been wheeled in, surrounded by chairs designed to accommodate human and Urval physiologies alike. Holoprojectors hovered overhead, ready to display charts, schematics, and languages. Captain Reyes presided over the session, flanked by Dr. Ortiz and Chief Engineer Malik Farouk. Ambassador Keleth sat opposite, with 3 senior Urval scholars whose bioluminescent tattoos glowed with thoughtful patterns. "Let us begin with navigation," Reyes announced. "Please share your faster-than-light drive schematics." Keleth nodded, and one scholar touched the table surface instantly. A fractal diagram of the Urval folding space engine appeared in midair. Lines of shimmering code and energy matrices spiraled outward, symbols danced like constellations. Malik leaned forward, absorbing every detail. "Your drive operates by temporarily decoupling spacetime in a localized bubble," he summarized. "Fascinating. Our prototype generates a gravimetric pulse to fold space from the outside in, whereas your method manipulates internal quantum fields directly." The scholars exchanged curious glances. "Your approach is aggressive," one observed. "It requires immense energy far beyond our network's typical output." He tapped the air. The diagram condensed into a complex equation. "How do you sustain the stability of the bubble without subspace feedback loops?" Malik's grin was unabashed. "We leverage dark matter resonators seated within neutronium coils. It's volatile, but controllable. We'd welcome your thoughts on feedback dampening." For hours, humans and Urval dove into technical minutiae: warp field harmonics, inertial compensation, transdimensional shielding. The Odyssey's power core hummed, providing a demonstration of terrestrial adaptation's miniaturized coils, radiating a faint violet aura. The unspoken undercurrent while the engineers debated quantum thresholds. Dr. Ortiz and Ambassador Keleth drifted to a quieter alcove. A crystalline fountain bubbled at its center, its water refracting light into prismatic arcs. Ortiz folded her hands in her lap. "Ambassador, I sense unease among your scholars. You came expecting a docile world. Instead, you found a complex, ambitious race." Keleth's luminescent eyes dimmed. "You are an anomaly. Most young planets seek guidance in governance and culture. They wish for stability above all else. Terra's fervor is unsettling." Ortiz nodded. "Humanity thrives on creative chaos. Our history is written in revolutions, both political and scientific. We clash, we rebuild, we innovate. You call it fervor, we call it life." He studied her earnestly. "Will your people war among themselves again? Will your advances bring the ruin of other civilizations?" She held his gaze. "Possibly. But we also build bridges." The United Earth Coalition rose from the ashes of global conflict. We learned cooperation through calamity. Our mistakes teach us humility, often too late. But we learn. Keleth sighed softly, a sound like wind through crystalline caverns. "I admire your resilience. Yet, it is a heavy burden to carry for a civilization so newly arrived at the stars." Ortiz half smiled. "We carry it because we must. Tell me, Ambassador, what weighs on you?" He remained silent, watching the fountain. "Then, our collective has thrived for millennia. We value order, longevity, equilibrium. We guide fledgling worlds to that same zenith. But Terra's spirit may never be tamed." His biolights flickered in shifting greens. "Perhaps in us, you need a different kind of teacher, one who learns from you as much as you from us." The banquet of relations be evening, a grand hall, had been prepared in the Odyssey's lower decks, an elegant space lined with crystalline tesserae that reflected starlight with kaleidoscopic brilliance. Long banquet tables bore both Terran delights: roasted root vegetables, bright salads, freshly baked flatbreads, and Urval exoticities, luminescent fruits that tingled on the tongue, delicate crystalline pastries that sang when bitten. Captain Reyes rose to address the assembly. Human officers in their pressed uniforms, Urval delegates in their flowing robes, and via HoloLink, representatives of Earth's High Council, esteemed friends, Reyes began, her voice resonant in the hall. Tonight we celebrate our first true dialogue. May this meal nourish our understanding and delight our senses. She raised her glass of spiced Terran wine. Keleth followed suit with a chalice of violet Urval nectar. To unity in diversity, she toasted. To mutual respect and shared destiny. Glasses clinked. The Urval scholars murmured approval and then, with surprising eagerness, reached for Earth's flaming hot pepper sauce. Laughter stirred the crowd. As the banquet progressed, ambassadors exchanged jokes through translators. Musicians from both species performed collaborative improvisations, and dancers human and Urvalt whirled beneath shifting light patterns projected onto the ceiling. In a quiet corner, Ambassador Keleth found Reyes again. Your people do not lack for joy, he observed. Reyes grinned. Joy is our counterweight to hardship. We share both freely. He dipped his head. Then let us proceed together, teachers and students. Yes, but also partners. She extended her hand. Partners. Their hands met, a fusion of flesh and living fiber, and in that simple touch, the foundations of a new interstellar relationship were cemented, one balanced on the delicate interplay of guidance and independence, harmony and ambition. And as the banquet hall pulsed with laughter and music, humanity's destiny among the stars took its next wondrous, unpredictable step. The moon hung low in Earth's sky, its pale surface etched with scars from ancient impacts, a silent witness to humanity's long journey. Above the cradle of civilization, aboard the Odyssey, orbiting high above continental clouds and glittering city lights, the Urval delegates prepared for a demonstration that would alter the balance of power in the galaxy. A secret invitation. Captain Reyes stood in the briefing chamber, a circular room ringed with holoprojectors and tactical consoles. Before her, Ambassador Keleth and his senior scholars awaited, their bioluminescent tattoos shifting in soft green and blue patterns, an Urval sign of cautious curiosity. Beside Reyes, Chief Engineer Malik Farouk tapped a control pad, ready to initiate the presentation. Ambassador, Reyes began, voice measured. You have seen our culture, our passion for discovery. But there is one aspect of our civilization you have not yet witnessed, something we call Project Aegis. Keleth inclined his head. Your stewardship proposal did not specify defensive systems of this magnitude. We are intrigued. Reyes held his gaze. Then come with me. Judge for yourselves whether Earth is a civilization to be guided or reckoned with. Journey to the Bastion. 2 hours later, the Urval party was escorted in a sleek maglev carrier from the Odyssey to a classified orbital installation, an enormous ring-world platform known as Bastion Prime. The structure floated above Earth's atmosphere, its outer rim bristling with sensor rays and plasma conduits. From space, the facility resembled a colossal metallic crown casting its shadow on the blue planet below. As the maglev docked, Urval scholars pressed their palms to the transparent viewport, marveling at the sight of Earth's swirling oceans. Ambassador Keleth whispered, "Such beauty and such vulnerability." Reyes nodded. "Which is why we built Aegis." She led them through a tunnel of pulsating lights, each pulse synchronized to the planet's rotation. The Erison's Earth's elite engineers greeted the Urval with quiet bows, their uniforms emblazoned with the Aegis emblem, an interlocking hexagon framed by lightning arcs. The heart of Aegis, at the heart of the installation, lay the control conflux, a chamber nearly a kilometer across. Bioluminescent tubes lined the arched walls, feeding power into 8 crystalline pylons that soared toward the vaulted ceiling. Between them, delicate filaments of energy danced, a web of pure, shimmering force that crisscrossed the chamber like a spider's silken threads. Dr. Yasmin Patel, the lead physicist, stood upon a raised dais beside a holographic console. "Ambassadors of the Urval," she began, "Project Aegis is our ultimate safeguard. It is not a weapon, it is a shield." She tapped the console. The pylons glowed with intensified radiance, and the energy web expanded outward, flowing through the station's conduits and down transmission lines that snaked into space. A holographic globe of Earth materialized above the dais, traced in circuits of pale blue light. "Observe," Patel said. Data streams flickered across the projection, meshed energy fields enveloping continents, crisscrossing oceans, cloaking the atmosphere. Every point on the globe was instantly protected by the Aegis Matrix. Any projectile, any energy beam, any biological agent entering the mesh is neutralized, converted to harmless subatomic particles. Before reaching the surface, the Urval scholars exchanged astonished whispers. One touched his chin, his patterns pulsing a rapid lavender. Your mastery of quantum conversion and atmospheric harmonics is unprecedented. Demonstration of power. To prove her point, Dr. Patel initiated a live simulation. On the projection, a missile streaked toward Earth. As it penetrated the first layer of the Aegis mesh, it dissolved into spirals of motes before evaporating into nothingness. Next, a swarm of nanobots attempted to breach the field. Each instantly disassembled, their components safely sequestered. The final test was most dramatic. A beam of coherent plasma, akin to the super weapons of some galactic empires, arced toward the planet. The Aegis mesh flared, rippling under the assault, and then absorbed the energy in a brilliant flash, the projection dimming as the threat vanished. Ambassador Keleth's eyes gleamed with something between awe and fear. A shield without equal, he murmured. No force in known space could overpower it. Reyes stepped forward. Which means Earth cannot be bullied, coerced, or conquered. We defend ourselves and any ally under our protection, but we do not initiate aggression. Keleth's patterns shifted to deep emerald. Your continent-bound conflicts seem trivial when measured against this capability, yet you developed it amid those struggles. Reyes glanced at the blueprint stations lining the wall, schematics of the Aegis network, interlinked with Earth's satellite constellations and spaceborne relays. We learned that vulnerability invites catastrophe, so we created certainty. A humble admission. Silence fell as the Urval delegation absorbed the magnitude of Aegis. The only sound was the hum of power coursing through the pylons. Finally, Keleth spoke, his voice quiet. We came to teach you restraint and harmony, but we have learned that strength can be harmony too, if wielded responsibly. Ortiz, who had accompanied them, watched his expression. And will you wield this responsibility with prudence? She asked. Keleth bowed his head. We will advise no longer as guardians, but as partners. We see now that Earth's destiny cannot be scripted by ancient codes of order alone. There is wisdom in your chaos. Reyes inclined in acknowledgement. Then let this day mark a new chapter, one of equals. Aftermath. In orbit back aboard the Odyssey, the Urval ministers gathered privately, their robes draped across council chairs as they deliberated in hushed tones. Ambassador Keleth addressed Reyes and her officers in the council chamber. Captain, he began, the Urval Collective humbly retracts our proposal for stewardship. Instead, we seek alliance, a shared council of worlds, with Earth as a founding member. Reyes allowed herself a small smile. We welcome your partnership. There's much we can build together on equal footing. Keleth's shoulders relaxed. And much we can learn from you. Your vision for defense could safeguard entire star clusters. In return, we offer our diplomatic networks and centuries of archival data. A wave of excitement pulsed through the human delegation. The galaxy's greatest information repositories, once off limits, would soon be at Earth's fingertips. But more than data or technology, this moment represented mutual respect and acknowledgement that humanity, forged in adversity, had arrived as a force to be reckoned with. A new balance. Several hours later, as Bastion Prime rotated toward Earth's sunrise, Captain Reyes stood at a viewport overlooking the planet. The Aegis network's glow was visible as fine lines of light tracing across the night side like veins of pure energy sustaining life below. Dr. Ortiz joined her. You've changed the course of galactic history tonight. Reyes watched the sun crest the horizon, its rays igniting the atmosphere in a blaze of gold. We've shown that peace is strongest when backed by the means to protect it. Now we begin forging true alliances balanced by trust, not fear. Ortiz placed a hand on the glass. The Urval will be our allies, but other civilizations will take note. Some will seek our friendship, others our downfall. Raises, jaw set with resolve. Let them come. We have learned that humanity's crucible are conflicts and triumphs makes us resilient. With Aegis and alliances behind us, we will chart a path among the stars guided by our own bold spirit. As the two women stood in silence, Earth rotated into the dawn of a new era. Above them, the stars gleamed with promise and with challenge, but humanity, armed with unwavering defense and hard-won wisdom, was ready to meet the galaxy on its own terms. The revelation was complete. Earth was no longer a fledgling world. It was now the galaxy's supreme force, at once a beacon of hope and a guardian of the cosmic balance. The vacuum of space was alive with newly forged starlight alliances, from the shining spires of the Urval homeworld to the bustling arcologies of the Gadarin Collective. Word of Earth's emergence as a galactic power had spread like a supernova's echo. Yet for Captain Reyes and her crew, the true test lay not in dazzling displays of strength, but in guiding humanity's bold spirit toward responsible leadership among the stars. The Council of Worlds. 6 months after Project Aegis awakened, the first Council of Worlds convened aboard the newly commissioned Orbital Station Unity's beacon, a triangular platform orbiting the neutral moon of Ferrix Prime. Delegates from a dozen civilization scholars, elders, warlords, and visionaries assembled. In its grand dome, whose crystalline walls refracted starlight into living rainbows, at the dais stood Ambassador Keleth of the Urval Collective, his bioluminescent patterns settling into deep, welcoming greens. Beside him, General Veska of the Gadarin, a sinewy reptilian race whose warriors were famed for their honor-bound tactics, nodded curtly, and then, to murmurs of surprise and hope, Earth's banner unfurled. Captain Reyes, draped in the United Earth Coalition's regalia, stepped forward. "Esteemed members of the Council," she began, voice echoing across the hall, "we come not as conquerors, but as partners. 6 months ago, humanity's place among the stars was uncertain. Today, we stand ready to uphold peace, empower the threatened, and ensure that no civilization bows to fear or oppression." A hush fell on Earth. This speech would have felt triumphalist, but here, amidst the swirling nebulae visible through the dome, it resonated with cautious optimism. Chancellor Rovan of the Arcturine Alliance, a dignified figure cloaked in azure silks, rose. "Your words carry both resolve and humility. Captain, we welcome Earth's offer of guardianship, provided it remains aligned with our shared principles of autonomy and mutual respect." From the back, murmurs of assent rose. Over the next hours, delegates debated charters and charters, drafting the Galactic Accord of Equilibrium, a treaty pledging non-aggression, mutual defense for worlds under existential threat, open scientific exchange, and impartial arbitration of disputes. Earth's delegation, Reyes, Ortiz, Farouk, and Patel, lent expertise on crisis management and defense theory, ensuring that the accord accommodated both Aegis strength protection and procedural checks to prevent its misuse. When the final line was penned, "No galaxy shall live in fear while any member stands vigilant for all," the delegates rose in unison. The accord was sealed in a prism of light, binding star systems from beyond the Zenith cluster to the Spiral Arms rim. Trial by Furano peace treaty, however elegant, escapes its first trial. 2 months later, a distress call echoed from the mining world of Havlis, the Krillan insectoid hive spawn that regarded all sentient life as potential hosts had overrun the planet's outskirts, devouring outposts and enslaving workers. The local militia collapsed under the onslaught, and refugees poured into orbit, pleading for rescue. Under the Accord's defense clause, Earth's expeditionary fleet Omega, led by Captain Reyes aboard the Odyssey, arrived first. At the same time, the Urval steered their own envoys. Gadarin warships thundered into formation, and several neutral Starcore mercenary bands offered support. For centuries, the Krill had threatened nearby systems, but never before had so many races united against them. Reyes convened the Joint War Council within Odyssey's command module. Holograms of Havlis rotated slowly above the table, smoke rising from jungle fires, mining rigs charred and abandoned. "Our mandate," Reyes said, "is twofold: crush the Krill threat and secure civilian zones with minimal collateral. Aegis can shield the refugees, let it. Then we mobilize targeted strikes on the hive nodes." Chief Engineer Farouk outlined the plan. Aegis emitters positioned above refugee habitats, Krillin-born plasma disruptors to collapse their organic tunnels, and quarantined bionet barriers to prevent regenerative swarms. Dr. Patel added a non-lethal biotoxin synthesized in the Odyssey's Labs 1 that disrupted the krill's pheromonal communication without harming other species. Within 48 hours, the joint forces launched Urval cruisers folded space to strike deep within the hives. Gatoran phalanxes secured perimeter lines. Starcore bombers delivered targeted plasma charges, and Earth's teams deployed the biotoxin clusters. The krill assault faltered, their swarms fracturing without coherent leadership. In a matter of days, Havlis was reclaimed. As the surviving miners emerged, blinking in the sunlight, they cheered beneath the protective Aegis dome. Captain Reyes and Ambassador Keleth watched together. From the surface, their biolights and Earth uniforms bore the scars of warfare, but their eyes shone with purpose. "This," Keleth whispered, "is what we dreamed of, strength united by compassion." Reyes nodded. "We protect the helpless, but we also honor life. That is our creed, a beacon for future generations." In the years that followed, Unity's beacon became a training ground and a school of diplomacy. Urval xenocultural courses ran alongside Earth's conflict resolution workshops. Gatoran tacticians taught honor-bound warfare. Terran ethicists led debates on AI rights and environmental stewardship, and representatives of formerly isolated species shared their customs in rotating cultural pavilions. Dr. Ortiz founded the Interstellar Fellowship of Minds, a program pairing young humans with alien mentors for research projects that tackled everything from deep space medical cures to symbiotic terraforming techniques. The first cohort trio teams of mixed species scholars mapped previously unknown hyperspace currents and decoded viral threats from the Cythery Rift. Chief Engineer Farouk spearheaded Project Helios, constructing solar lens satellites that funneled starlight into fusion reactors for energy-poor colonies. And Dr. Patel's team perfected Aegis II, a mobile variant capable of shielding entire fleets or small planetary systems. With equal efficacy. As Earth's influence blossomed, so too did its sense of responsibility. Captain Reyes, now vice chair of the Council of Worlds, traveled between delegations, mediating border disputes in the Nebula Reach and aiding recovery efforts on quick-ravaged moon colonies. Each mission reinforced the Accord's principle: power tempered by empathy uplifts all. The dawn of a new epicon, the 5th anniversary of Aegis's activation. Unity's beacon hosted a grand celebration under a sky studded with fireworks crafted from harmless plasma. Billions across the galaxy watched holostreams relay the festivities. Urval scholars recited poems in alien tongues. Gatoran warriors performed sword dances. Humans sang old Earth ballads rewritten as interstellar odes. Captain Reyes climbed a platform at the station's zenith, flanked by Ambassador Keleth and Chancellor Rovan. Before them, a holographic projection of Earth and its allied worlds floated in space. The crowd fell silent. Reyes raised her voice. 5 years ago, our world stood alone, young, fierce, and untested. We chose to stand not in isolation, but in solidarity. Today, we are many worlds bound by a common creed: to defend the vulnerable, to share knowledge, and to walk boldly into the unknown together. Cheers erupted. Ellen Patel, now head of the Galactic Defense Consortium, activated the Kamem link to Earth. On every habitable world, in every orbital station, beings of countless shapes and voices joined the cry. Together, as the lights dimmed and the galaxy's systems drifted back to their daily rhythms, one truth remained clear: humanity's dawn was not a solitary sunrise, but an interwoven weave of starlight and hope. From the first echo of communication in the void to the mighty shield of Aegis and beyond, Earth had not merely survived its passage to the stars, it had become the spark that united them. And so, with harmony born of strength and ambition tempered by wisdom, the galaxy stepped into its next great adventure, one in which humanity, ever defiant and ever curious, would lead as both protector and pioneer among the infinite realms of space.